struggling to pay their bills. Yet Mandela Barnes supports a tax increase on working families. How could he? Barnes also supported hiring an army of 87,000 new IRS agents unleashed on families just like yours. That's terrifying. Mandela Barnes, higher taxes and IRS audits for you, unpaid taxes for him. Remember that on Election Day. Wisconsin Truth Bank is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You've heard what women say about working at Tim Michael's company, that they were groped.
A male superior groped the crotch and inner thigh of a female employee
and pressured to have sex with their bosses. And now we know more. According to an attorney involved in the case, when the only woman on a Michael's road crew was sexually harassed on the job, the company did not take it seriously. From the top down. From the top down. If that's how Tim Michaels runs his company, how do you think he'd run the state?
Straight ahead, the iconic T-Bird Bridge has a new home. We'll head to today's ribbon cutting.
Plus, debt threatens the future of Social Security and Medicare. We'll hear a senator's plans to keep these programs going.
And a Milwaukee election clerk is facing criminal charges. We'll have the details as your local news starts right now.
News Watch 12 with Dan Hagan, Jessica Jukic, and Jeff Weller.
Good evening and welcome to News Watch 12 at 5. I'm Dan Hagan.
And I'm Jessica Jukic. For decades, people driving to Minocqua on Highway 51 would travel under a bridge that read T-Bird Country, which is a nod to the local high school's mascot.
That bridge was taken down a few years ago, but now, after 6 years of planning, the longtime symbol for the Lakeland area is in its new resting place. News Watch 12's Matt Weaver was there and joins us live in the studio with more. Matt?
Well, Dan, a panel of the 85-year-old Lakeland T-Bird Bridge now officially sits above the entrance to the Lakeland Union High School. It's adopted several nicknames over the years, but this iconic structure now serves a new purpose, bridging community with education.
Gateway to the Northwoods, God's country, now we're home. When they cross underneath it, they could breathe easy.
There are many ways to describe what the T-Bird Bridge meant to so many.
Kids that grew up now that are adults tell me that when they used to pass under that bridge, their dad would say, okay, put your hands up, hold the bridge up. I mean, it really meant a lot to people. You could just get away from everything and you know you're up north.
A staple of the Lakeland community since 1937 has its new home, thanks to the Friends of the T-Bird Bridge Committee.
And I firmly believe that our purpose is to lead by example and be here for other people. And this is my way of answering to all those people that were upset about that bridge being torn down.
Chairman Robert Metropolis understands the deep history that the remnant has with students.
The kids would go out there and paint on it, and then the DOT or whoever it was would spray paint it black, and then maybe a couple of years later another crew would go out there and do it again in the dead of night, and it was kind of a cat and mouse game.
That midnight pastime will now forever carry a legacy.
I spray painted T-Bird Country on it, and it was really kind of a trip to know that I was the last person to be able to do it. Hopefully the last person.
But for Metropolis, it serves as a symbol of opportunity to the next generation.
I want them to be reminded that this is their future. And when they pass under that bridge, they're entering T-Bird Country. And that's the future, their future.
Metropolis says that the community can etch a personalized message onto the landmark fundraising by purchasing a brick to go on the pillars. Proceeds will benefit students with disabilities.
It finally feels like fall out there, Jeff. What can we expect this weekend?
Yesterday, I stood right here. It was close to 70 degrees. Right now, it's 39 in a few spots across our region with some rain showers out there. Now, let's go outside here in Wausau where the rain is falling. It's nothing heavy, but it's persistent across much of the region right now. That will likely expand in coverage tonight into early parts of tomorrow morning. Here's the radar. And again, this is the heaviest rain now across central Wisconsin, which is where it's going to stay basically. But this will all begin to lift north overnight tonight. So all of us will get some rainfall, and a little bit could be heavy at times. Like fire hose and moisture headed our way all the way back from parts of Omaha. So all of this is moving toward Wisconsin. So we have quite a bit of rain to get through tonight into tomorrow. It all ends about this time tomorrow night. And by the way, the back edge of the clouds is near Duluth right now. It is mostly sunny across parts of Minnesota. Okay, temperatures, highs today, 64, but that was then. This is now. It's 40 in Rhinelander, 38 up Arvida. The cold front has come through. through. The rain showers are out there. Our lives are changed now for a while with cooler air locked in place. Our forecast then tonight, though, is partly cloudy skies to mostly cloudy skies with scattered rain showers out there as well, with low temperatures down near 37. Your full forecast is coming up. Dan?
Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid are all popular, but face funding issues in the future. Democrat Senator Joe Manchin is calling for a bipartisan deal to protect those social programs. The Social Security Administration announced last year that it is not projected to have the funds to pay full benefits past 2033. Speaking virtually at a conference, Manchin said that Congress needs to work on passing bipartisan reforms to Social Security and Medicare and cut federal spending. These comments come a few days before midterm elections that will decide control of Congress for the next 2 years.
A new type of antibiotic will soon be submitted for FDA approval ahead of schedule. That's a big deal because it's the first antibiotic developed for UTIs in more than 20 years. UTIs are one of the most common infections, especially in women and girls. The new antibiotic is a pill called gepotidacin. The drug maker GSK says its independent data monitoring committee recommended stopping testing early because the drug had already proven to be effective. GSK said it would prepare its findings for a publication in the medical journal and submit its data to FDA for approval next year. New antibiotics are desperately needed because over time, many kinds of bacteria become resistant to the agents used to treat them.
Many people with depression are unable to find helpful medication. A new study found a single dose of an ingredient in magic mushrooms improved depression symptoms for people who struggle to find treatment. The randomized clinical trial compared results of a 25 milligram dose to a 10 milligram and 1 milligram dose of a synthetic psilocybin. Researchers say they found an immediate, fast, rapid-acting sustained response to 25 milligrams. But it's not all great news. By week 12, the positive impact on depressive symptoms had waned. Experts found the study's findings promising, but say there are a number of issues that need further evaluation before this drug would be available for clinical use. Prosecutors on Friday criminally charged a recently fired Milwaukee elections official for allegedly sending military absentee ballots to a member of the state legislature.
The elections official admitted to investigators that she was attempting to highlight flaws within the absentee system. Jackson Danbeck has more on the investigation into her actions.
Good morning.
Mayor Cavalier Johnson claims Kimberly Zapata fraudulently requested the military absentee ballots from the public MyVote website while she was off the clock and had them sent to State Representative Janelle Brangen's Menominee Falls home.
Military voters are not required to register to vote. They are exempt from providing photo ID or any other type of ID information.
Representative Branchen posted to social media saying 3 ballots were sent to her home in late October, addressed to Holly with 3 different last names. Branchen's the chair of the Assembly Committee on Campaigns and Elections. Zapata's motive, according to the city's Election Commission executive director,
that she was pointing out that you can go onto the public system, make up a person, and request a ballot.
The mayor says it does not matter that Zapata herself was forthcoming about what she had done.
Nor does it matter that there was no attempt to vote illegally or tamper with any election results. This has every appearance of being an egregious, blatant violation of trust.
The Milwaukee County District Attorney says we should expect charges to be filed in the coming days. And Zapata has already lawyered up, with her attorney releasing the statement saying, "We will litigate this in the courtroom, not the media."
Prosecutors have criminally charged Zapata with misconduct in public office and 3 counts of making false statements to obtain absentee ballots as of this morning. Coming up after the break, new cases of the bird flu have been confirmed in Wisconsin.
And flu season is underway. We'll explain what areas are seeing a rise in cases. That's after weather with Jeff right here on Newswatch 12.
Black November starts now at Furniture and Appliance Mart. For a limited time, take a bonus 20% off your purchase of $1,999 or more at checkout. Plus, get 60 months special financing, no minimum and no money down at Furniture and Appliance Mart.
I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
All units, all units. Reports of an abortion at Central Hospital. Officers needed to detain doctor.
If Ron Johnson has his way, he wouldn't just ban abortions. Doctors could go to jail for it. And Johnson's tried for over a decade. He even co-sponsored a bill with no exceptions for rape, incest, or the life of the woman. And said if women don't like an abortion ban, they can just move. But it's Ron Johnson who doesn't belong in Wisconsin.
He pushed tax loopholes benefiting himself. Send him back, and he'll make things worse. Ron Johnson would let Wisconsin ban abortion, even in cases of rape, and said if you don't like it, you can move. He voted to raise the retirement age and wants to end guaranteed spending on the Social Security you earned.
Social Security is a legal Ponzi scheme, but that's exactly what it is.
Ron Johnson, still making it harder on us. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
Give any room in your home a stunning new look and feel with Palisade wall planks from Menards. These planks have a natural wood grain or tile look, are waterproof, easy to install, and require no mortar. All Palisade wall planks are 11% off. Secure those planks with Loctite Premium. It's the strongest and most durable construction adhesive that you can buy. You can use it anywhere, inside and out. All Loctite adhesives are now 11% off at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
I was in law enforcement for over 40 years, and I can't imagine a better attorney general than Josh Call. He's a real prosecutor who's locked up murderers, serial rapists, the really dangerous guys you want off the street, and kept them behind bars. And he'll work with anyone, Republican or Democrat, to get it done. Look, there's more we have to do, but the only one I'd want leading the fight against crime is our Attorney General, Josh Call.
Black November starts now at Furniture and Appliance Mart. For a limited time, take a bonus 20% off your purchase of $1,999 or more at checkout. Plus, get 60 months special financing, no minimum and no money down at Furniture and Appliance Mart.
Well, we made it. The busy Northwoods weekend is here, and this squirrel knows what's up. He's hiding his nuts because it's much colder outside today and likely all weekend long. Highs in the 40s now going forward, and it's just going to be feeling more like November around here this week into next. But overall, looking at really kind of cloudy skies out there now with some rain showers after we did this. A high, look at 64 earlier today, but again, that was then. This is now. It's really changed across our region. 40 currently in Rhinelander. 43 for Antigo, 40 in Medford, 42 for Merrill. Yes, it feels more like fall or winter out there currently, and that's a cold front that came through this morning, and that really changed our lives pretty much all day long, as we're about 30 degrees colder right now compared against this time yesterday. So that is a strong cold front, my friends, and that is going to keep us cool for a while, most likely into next week. Just for shits, stews, and giggles here, the average high is 45, their average low is 27. Look at that record low, 1. That's what the atmosphere can do on this day back in 1951, and it was 73 just a couple of years ago, and the sun sets now at 5:40. By the way, that changes big time, of course, over the weekend, time change on Sunday morning. Okay, so we're not alone. We have friends in the cold air, and you know, this time of year, the cold air typically wins. It's heavier, it's denser, it's on the move, so it's kind of moving across the entire Great Lakes region now, and of course, northern states too. That's going to keep us cool for a while. Nothing really Arctic in here, but definitely cooler temperatures are on the way that look like this. So 49 for tomorrow, 51 for Sunday, a heat wave, right? And then 45 for Monday into Tuesday. We may flirt with 60 again Wednesday and Thursday, but overall kind of at or slightly below average temperatures now for a bit into the middle portions of next week. Out there today, lots of cloud cover. That's the front coming through earlier today. And then afternoon, a couple of showers out there. Nothing heavy or severe. There was some severe weather across parts of southeastern Wisconsin today. That will miss us. And here's the radar. There is a lot of energy in the atmosphere right now. This thing is all wound up. So thunder showers across parts of southeastern Wisconsin. Think of it this way. Think of the cold air here. The warm air is here. Between it, you get rain. And that's happening now across parts of our area. That will likely have a pretty distinct northern edge to it, though. I put my hand right there. You see that? How it's not moving to the north very much at all. So if it's not raining at your house right now, it's probably not going to for a couple hours, but there is more rainfall in the forecast for us tonight. The heavy heaviest rain now is in portions of Portage County, Wapaka County, Adams County. Again, moving to the northeast about 45 miles per hour. Locally heavy rainfall in those areas tonight. And just a fire hose of moisture across the Midwest, all aimed at Wisconsin. But again, we are on the northern part of this until an area of low pressure, which is right there across Iowa, is going to ride along this tonight and kind of push the rain back in our direction overnight tonight, which will give all of us a good, healthy dose of rain this evening. Futurecast shows as well, right? So here's the low kind of forming right there. It'll push all this kind of back our direction later on tonight and tomorrow morning. So overall, we're all going to get wet. The heaviest rain for us will likely be late tonight into early portions of tomorrow morning. And it'll look something like this. We're talking a widespread inch of rainfall still, with 1 to 2 inches possible from Green Bay south over toward Madison. Okay, our forecast then tonight, though, is scattered rain showers out there, locally heavy rain possible. All rain, no snow. Look for low temperatures down near 37. For tomorrow, it's Saturday. We're going to break our stretch of really nice weekends, right? Cloudy and windy, scattered rain showers out there with a high temperature of 49. Many of you may get stuck in the low to mid 40s tomorrow with that gusty wind in there as well. And then looking ahead, your 7-day forecast by Northwest Furniture and Mattress shows what's going on here, right? We have temperatures in the 40s, maybe a couple of 50s in there on Sunday with the time change on Sunday. Of course, Monday, 45, and we vote on Tuesday before we get more rain showers in here, Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Dan and Jessica.
Thanks, Jeff. Playoffs are close to being done for 8-man high school football. The state semifinals are tonight, and both Newman Catholic and Wausau and Leona Wabeno have a shot at making the state championship game. Leona Wabeno was able to send their team off in style with an emergency vehicles escort earlier this afternoon. The Rebels take on Belmont at 7 near Milwaukee. The Rebels defeated Lena, St. Thomas Aquinas, and Florence in the previous rounds of the playoffs. If they win, Leona Wabeno would take on the winner of Newman Catholic and Siren in the state championship game next Saturday.
Bird flu has been confirmed in 2 Wisconsin counties. The Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection identified avian flu in Marathon and Waukesha counties. Thursday, the 23 birds were depopulated. This year, 18 Wisconsin counties have had confirmed cases. Flock owners are encouraged to protect the birds from the virus by washing their hands, disinfecting equipment, and restricting access to birds. Bird flu signs are sudden death without clinical signs, lack of energy, and difficulty breathing. Minnesota is starting to see an uptick in flu cases. That's according to new data from the State Department of Health.
And doctors are urging people to get your flu shot now to be protected by Thanksgiving. Devon Roming has more.
The seasonal flu is wasting no time making the rounds in Minnesota.
We're 6 to 8 weeks ahead of the usual start of the season.
New numbers from the state health department show flu hospitalizations jumped from 14 to 42 in the last week, and the median age of those hospitalized just 42 years old. There have been 35 total outbreaks in schools since the health department began tracking the flu 3 weeks ago. Half of those outbreaks popped up in the last week alone. Alarming numbers for Allina Health infectious disease doctor Frank Rain.
Well, we've been worried for 2 years because influenza and RSV have been at historic lows, that we haven't been beefing our own immunity up.
Do you think that was in a way harmful, having all the mandates and stuff that were in place with COVID, considering the flu?
Well, we lost 1 million people to COVID, so I think we had to do that. But if it was a secondary side effect, it's one we needed to do.
Health officials say the more severe strain of the virus, influenza A, is currently the dominant strain, drawing vaccine speculation.
The lineages that are in the current vaccine are definitely picked to protect us against influenza A. Vaccine effectiveness is a function of how many people take it and how bad the season is. You can have a great vaccine, but a worse season and a lot of cases.
As the virus continues to make the rounds, a round of shots is what the doctor orders.
Wisconsin. Are we better off under Tony Evers? Our cost of living has skyrocketed. Evers has proposed painful tax increases and tried to raise the gas tax by 20%. Wisconsin is also less safe.
because Evers' parole board released hundreds of murderers and rapists early. Victims' families weren't even notified, and many of those criminals committed crimes again. Wisconsin, Tony Evers has failed. It's time for him to go.
Tim Michaels wants to scare you with lies. Here's the truth. Independent fact-checkers gave Michaels' parole attacks a pants-on-fire rating, saying they were false and that the governor does not allow any release of criminals. That's a fact. And here's another fact. Tony Evers actually increased police funding, and he's working to invest in high-crime areas, in job training, after-school programs, and mental health. So when you see all these, do this.
It was Halloween. My daughter stopped at 3 homes, her girlfriend's house, her teacher's house, and the man that murdered her. He molested her, and he put her in a garbage bag. He was going to be released in 2018. Josh Call, he was not there for me at all. You want some help to find out what's going on, and he doesn't help. He don't care about the victims. I know Eric Toney does. Eric Toney helped keep that man that murdered my daughter from being released. Eric Toney's always been there for me, and that's the kind of attorney general we need.
I see your hard work, everything you do to try to make it, but people continue to be left behind. I'm running for Senate to put more money in your pocket. Ron Johnson's had 12 years to make things better, but costs are still rising, and all he's managed to do is write a tax cut for himself. I believe better is possible. I believe hard work can pay off, and I'll never stop fighting until it does. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Breaking news in Dallas, Texas, where at least 5 police officers were killed when they were ambushed.
This was the deadliest day for U.S. law enforcement since 9/11.
Just days after this horrific crime, Mandela Barnes appeared on Vladimir Putin's propaganda news outlet and rationalized violence against American police officers.
Police officers are over-exercising their badges. This probably was a retaliatory attack.
Do you want Mandela Barnes representing you in the Senate?
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
For the 7th consecutive year, Tomahawk High School's drama department is heading to state. The team took their one-act play to Oconto Falls for Thursday for sectionals, and their performance there punched their ticket for another state appearance. The play this year is based around the theme of waiting. It's titled Wait, Wait, Bo Bait. This year's state festival will be held November 18th and 19th on the campus of UW-Whitewater. Ahead of that performance, the community will get a chance to check out the play. They'll have a community showing on Monday, November 14th in the school auditorium.
A class at La Cora Ray Ojibwe University recently discovered evidence of creatures that once thrived along an ancient seashore 500 million years ago in northern Wisconsin. In October, the class visited the Mount Simon Sandstone Formation, which extends along the southern Great Lakes area and dates back more than 500 million years. Students were looking along an area a couple miles from the university in Hayward, where the town had blasted bedrock apart to widen a road, when they came across impressions in a rock. They discovered a trace fossil that appears to be some type of mollusk from the Cambrian period more than 500 million years ago. At that time, tropical seas covered much of Wisconsin. Researchers have found it's one of the largest known Cambrian trace fossils, and the animals could have been reached up to more than 2 feet in size.
The Powerball lottery jackpot has entered record territory. Lottery officials announced today that the grand prize is now up to $1.6 billion. The last time someone won the jackpot was August 3rd, and the jackpot has been rolling over and increasing since then. The largest jackpot ever won was $1.58 billion, which was split between 3 winning tickets in 2016. We'll be right back after the break.
Check out the tribute to the King, Elvis. Free show starring award-winning Elvis tribute artist Dakota Pongratz. Saturday, November 19th, 8 to midnight. Mole Lake Casino and Lodge, where everyone is treated like a king.
Think crime is bad now? Mandela Barnes would make it worse. Barnes would eliminate cash bail even after the Waukesha Christmas parade attack, supports amnesty and sanctuary cities for illegals, and had worked for a radical group that wants to defund the police. Barnes has a long record of smearing police while spending your tax dollars on security for himself. Mandela Barnes, wrong on crime, dangerous for Wisconsin. Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The reason I support Katrina right now, even though I've been a lifelong Republican, is she never talks about the fact that she's a Democrat. She's more about people, country, these kind of things. The military is a very stressful occupation. I felt I really needed more professional help, and I decided that I was going to reach out to Katrina about my mental health. Katrina Shanklin not only got me there, but she saved my life.
I'm Katrina Shanklin, and I approve this message.
Americans struggling to pay their bills. Yet Mandela Barnes supports a tax increase on working families. How could he? Barnes also supported hiring an army of 87,000 new IRS agents unleashed on families just like yours. That's terrifying. Mandela Barnes, higher taxes and IRS audits for you, unpaid taxes for him. Remember that on Election Day. Wisconsin Truth Bank is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You've heard what women say about working at Tim Michael's company, that they were groped.
A male superior groped the crotch and inner thigh of a female employee
and pressured to have sex with their bosses. And now we know more. According to an attorney involved in the case, when the only woman on a Michael's road crew was sexually harassed on the job, the company did not take it seriously. From the top down. From the top down. If that's how Tim Michaels runs his company, how do you think he'd run the state?
At Mole Lake Casino and Lodge, you'll experience gaming like a king.
Thank you very much.
Start earning entries now to the 9 days of deer season for your chance to win a hunting rifle. Mole Lake Casino and Lodge, where everyone games like a king.
All right, the Minocqua Chamber is asking folks when they think there will be a layer of ice across Lake Minocqua. If you pick the right date, you could take home a big prize, Jeff and Jessica. The rules are simple. On the Let's Minocqua website, fill out when you think Lake Minocqua will be completely covered with ice and when it will be completely free of ice next spring. Chamber Director Crystal Westfall says it's a fun way to interact with Minocqua lovers all over the globe.
We just want that interaction with them. We want to make sure that they're, able to look at the webcam and give us their prediction. What do they think? So it's really about just sort of that community piece.
And that webcam she mentioned is on the Let's Minocqua website as well. So, guys, what do you think? When is ice going to completely cover Lake Minocqua?
Crystal always looks warm, by the way. She always looks warm. Let's see. I say December 9th.
Okay, I'm going to hedge that. I'm going to go December 10th.
Okay.
And if you sandwich me, Jessica, I'm going to be very upset.
December 6th.
Okay. December 6th.
Thank you.
Well, she's the first. Well, let's go outside now. We can't make ice with these temperatures, but we have lots of rain showers across our area now. No snow for you for a bit. The rain showers will intensify tonight and kind of back up into the Northwoods this evening as well. So expect lots of rain showers into tomorrow morning. Temperatures are in the 30s and 40s. So again, we took a step back from yesterday's highs near 70, and that's pretty much where we're going to stay for a while. So near 50 tomorrow, and for Sunday, and for Monday, and for Tuesday. Don't forget time change on Sunday morning. We vote on Tuesday.
Definitely a different weekend than last weekend, last few. Well, thank you, Jeff. That's all the time we have. We'll see you back here at 6.
A governor's basic responsibility is to keep us safe, strong, and thriving.
We all know that's not happening.
Tim Michaels, a new direction for Wisconsin.